Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about the creation of the personality, or rather, even the creation of our own personalities. So we hear a lot of people saying that this and this person has this and this kind of a personality, or this and that kind of a personality. So what exactly is a personality? Is it exact or is it contextual to all of the experienced personal realities? So a while back I had googled up for the origin of the word personality, and it comes from the word persona. So the persona is the Latin word which means a theatrical mask that a person keeps wearing with regards or in context to certain situations, to certain time periods, to certain interactions. So if the personality originates from the very word persona, which is wearing of the masks with regards to certain situations at a certain point in time with regards to certain interactions in keeping with certain relationships that we are engaged in, can it be just one thing? Are we the same person in all of our interactions, right from the person who comes to collect the garbage, to meeting our bosses, to interacting with our children, to interacting with our friends, our parents, our siblings? Are we essentially the same person? So a few days back, I had come across this amazing picture quiz, which I had also shared with a lot of people, and I wanted to know their response. Now, almost all of them did not know as to what this picture quiz was all about, but most of them reverted. And when most of them reverted, it helped me understand that probably our deeper lying philosophies, our ideologies, the ideas that we have about ourselves gets imprinted on us most of the times. And as Dr. Gabor Mate would say, that even before we begin to have an idea about the world imprints its ideas on us. Even before we begin shaping the self or have any conception about what the self is all about, the world begins to shape us. The world begins to tell us its ideas about how we need to fit into the world so that we feel belonged. And most of those ideas, most of those thoughts, most of those ideologies are getting absorbed by us since the time we are conceived in the womb. So if the definition or the understanding of what defines you encompasses a whole lot of people on a very large scale, it can be your direct family, it can be the self itself, which is encapsulated in this body, which is experienced through this body, then the direct family, then the indirect families, then the community that we are a part of, the organizations that we are a part of or have been a part of, all of the bigger interactions that we get to engage in or that we get to interact with. If they form a part of your personal identity, then any personal savory experience on a very personal level gets shared by a lot of people, a bigger community. But at the same time, if there is an unpleasant experience that is shared on a very personal level, it also gets shared by many. In a situation like this, one gets to be applauded by probably 10,000 people, or one gets to be shamed and also ridiculed by equally 10,000 people. So in such a situation, the chances of being applauded or being ridiculed and shamed equally runs high on the radar. However, on the flip side, if one's personal identity is only restricted to this self or to a very few people, the chances of being applauded or being ridiculed equally minimizes. The chances of then one making a personal choice for themselves in the former case is also dictated by a lot of other people who form a part of the bigger collective, but also at the same time, one influencing or one impacting so many people at the same time through a bigger collective because they identify like that also increases. And at the same time, when one's personal identity or one's personal reality with regards to the interactions is encompassed to a smaller section of people, the chances of their choices being governed by too many people also reduces. And at the same time, they having an impact, and what kind of an impact also minimizes. The onus of accountability and of the blame equally gets shared amongst the bigger collective, or it minimizes, it reduces to a smaller collective at the same time. So the ways in which we experience our personal realities also kind of deciphers in the manner in which we take accountability of our individual and collective actions, the manner in which we take accountability of it, the manner in which it is shared on a bigger scale, or the manners in which it is shared and how it is shared by a collective few. So the formation of the personality through the experience of personal realities is not a static thing. It's a very dynamic thing. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly shifting. It's constantly changing its personas. And very much like the house of cards, it has its own domino effects. So then can we look at and reflect at all of the paths that have gone into creating all of these personas, all of the thoughts, all of the ideas, all of the ideologies, all of the philosophies that have run deeper in the course of our very being. Because unless we begin to get aware of all of the various personas that we enact throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our year, throughout our lifetimes, we will barely be able to scratch the surface of what we call as the personality and experience and see our own personal realities. So then can we become a little more aware about all of the role plays that we play, all of the various personas that come into the picture, all of the fascinating aspects about experiencing our own personal realities, so that we become the co-author of it and it just doesn't become a background music or a background sound or a background idea that keeps telling us what we should be and how we should be. Let's try and think about that a little more, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contents of my videos, please do like, share and subscribe.